Hi everyone, thank you for joining us here at Rated M for Mature, the podcast about gaming, movies, TV shows, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Magnetic, and with me are my co-hosts, Totes and Archer.
What up?
Hello.
Alright, so today we're just going to be talking about a list of stuff that we care about and that we...
Okay,
like
first I want to bring something up here.
Yes.
You have a poster on your wall of Superman with lightning around him that says, "It tickles. Elaborate, please."
Yeah, bro, he's indestructible. He's trolling. He's trolling his enemies.
So he just turns it on?
Yeah.
He's like,
No.
you can't hurt me.
For those of you who don't know, I love Superman, and my friends and co-hosts love busting my chops about it. So
Absolutely. Because Batman's better.
Yeah, Aquaman for life.
Whatever.
Oh my god. So yeah, that's the thing. No, Superman's awesome, and yeah.
Well, I'm glad somebody thinks so.
So one of the things we're going to get at, we're going to talk about a lot of things on the show here today, but one thing I want to really get at right now is Konami. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
You done good.
you know, Hideo Kojima's leaving. Metal Gear 5 is going to be the last Metal Gear with his involvement, and it looks great, and it looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. But you fucking canceled Silent Hill with Guillermo del Toro.
That's what I'm most concerned about.
This guy's done Pan's Labyrinth, and that shit was freaky as all hell, man. And this guy wanted to do a Silent Hill game, and I was like, wow, that's going to be really, really cool. And then you get Norman Reedus involved, who's super popular with The Walking Dead. Everyone loves this guy, and you just seem like you have a concept and a game and a series that's already well established that seems like it's just a license to print money, and Konami goes, nah, we're going to make another Metal Gear game, but, not with Kojima. We're just going to expect that it's going to be amazing. And I think it's such a stupid thing and a stupid decision made on their end. It's crazy. I don't know. So.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because, like, for one reason, the PT demo they put out was really cool.
Can confirm.
Yeah, like it was really scary, and for a different way than most horror games are. Like a lot of horror games, they kind of give you the tools to like deal with these situations. Like in Outlast, you can hide, or like in Dead Space or something like that, you can just kill whatever you want. But in PT, they basically put you in the situations where it was like, something bad is going to happen, and you just have to deal with it.
Well,
you don't know when or how bad.
Yeah, and it's like
that's just it, though. They force you to face your fears. Without spoiling anything, there's one moment where you see something in a hallway, and then it forces you to walk towards it to progress.
Yeah, and it was like you're just crying inside the whole time, but you still have to do it if you want to progress through the game, right? And like, I mean, I'm imagining that the Silent Hills game would have, would have the weapons and maybe some kind of stealth mechanic, or it would be a lot more open in how you approach these situations. But like, still, the PT demo proved that they could make a really convincing psychological horror.
Kind of like Amnesia on the PC, where you're supposed to run. You're not supposed to fight these things. They're so horrific. Like, you're just a person. You're supposed to be running scared shitless, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Even that, I mean, the horror genre too, and especially in the last few years, has gotten such a resurgence, and it's become so popular again. It just seems like a crazy decision for Konami to just say, you know what, no, we're gonna put this to bed, especially now, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I think PT consoles with PT installed on them were selling on eBay for some ridiculous amount of money too, weren't they? Yeah. No one's selling a PS4 with Metal Gear Ground Zeroes for $1,000. So I think I don't understand the decision making, and I think suits are really running this industry, and it's sad. It's so sad. There's this demand for this game, and it won't cancel.
Yeah, well, another really unfortunate thing is that like the last few Silent Hills have been pretty balls. Like, they haven't sold.
Let's be
the
honest,
greatest.
they sucked.
Yeah, they haven't sold great, and like they haven't been well received critically. So it's like, if they cancel something like this that has such potential, but also like had really high profile involvement, like, are they even going to bother rebooting it later down the road? Because like they have, like, if they can pull these people originally to do these projects, and they're interested, clearly, there are high-profile developers out there who want to actually take part and like reinvigorate the franchise. But like, if they're getting rid of it now, especially like after these people have already put work into it, I wonder if anyone else is going to want to touch that again.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be like a high risk, high reward situation, right? Because I mean, yeah, they have done work on it, but they haven't done a lot of work. If that makes any sense, yeah. Like PT, it was a demo. But that being said, do you really think it was part of the game? Because I kind of don't.
Could be one of those trailers made for the game kind of thing too. But for me, part of the excitement for this game really was the fact that it wasn't the regular Silent Hill nonsense that came before it. This was a movie director who's made some really twisted, creepy shit in movies, and a really popular actor and a great voice actor too. Yeah. And I was getting stoked because I'm like, maybe I'm going to get something. It has the Silent Hill name on it, but maybe this is going to be an original, creepy as hell, unofficial reboot to that series.
Well, that's just it too. That's why people were so upset. Is because it wasn't just, hey, they're making Silent Hill good.
Yeah.
It was a good demo. Period.
Yeah.
Like, it could be any genre. If it was the same...
And really, do we give a shit about Solid Snake being able to take a selfie with a bad guy? Like... it's just... I don't know. Japan, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like, the trailer I saw for that was ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So, yeah. I just... shame on you. Shame on you, Konami, and, hopefully... you find a way to resurrect it from the dead before it's too late, or before these guys move on permanently. And
Konami, you done goofed.
Hopefully we get an E3 surprise. Maybe it's one of those, trolling seems to happen a lot lately.
Yeah. Well, do you think that E3 will bring something from Konami, or do you think they're just gonna I
don't know. I think E3 is really gonna want to push that Metal Gear bandwagon train, whatever you want to call it, pretty hard. And maybe we'll get it. If they do anything, maybe they'll give us a teaser trailer of a teaser.
I don't even think they have a booth though at E3, do they?
Isn't there a new Tekken game coming out too?
Tekken 7 is in the works currently, and the more hype fighter Pokken tournament. Come on, feel it.
Yeah. Cool. So I don't know, and I don't know about Konami.
Well, if Konami's not going to be at E3, what are you then excited for at it?
For me, I lost my mind. I lost my goddamn mind when I can't remember who first put it out. Maybe it was IGN. I can't remember, but the announcement that Bethesda was most likely going to do Fallout 4, and for me, that was one of my favorite games. Fallout 3 was.
Well, they have their own conference this year.
Yeah,
like, they must have a lot to show.
Oh, God fucking help me! I hope they do, because for me, this is probably going to be my game of the year whenever this game gets released out. Whether it's this year or next year, that's probably going to be the game I sink about 300 hours in, platinum it, or
easily,
or 100% it, or
guys,
play over and over and over again.
Dishonored.
Yeah, I was going to say
probably going to be there.
I really hope so too. I hope we see something.
Would be more excited for that than Fallout 4, because
blasphemy.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm not going to lie. Like, as someone who really, really, really likes stealth games. Dishonored was like a very welcome surprise. Like, I didn't really know much going into it, and I was like, holy shit, like, this game, it doesn't only just have like really sound mechanics, there's a lot of player choice. The levels are really open in how you approach them. It reminded me a lot of like my favorite games, like the Thief series. Not the new one though, just to be clear.
Well, Dishonored is the Thief that should have happened, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, it takes a lot of inspiration from that, but also like there were just so many other things about it that were so cool, like the world and the lore, the art direction, like how the graphics looked. It was like really nothing.
Being in an oil painting, you're playing in this masterfully crafted world. No, and me and Archer both share the same kind of views with these games. Like, Dishonored again was one of my favorite games that year too that I played. And for all those nerds out there that knows what platinuming a game is, I for sure platinumed that game too. I couldn't get enough. And, it was just, if I see something like that too, I mean, how do I split up my time between Fallout and Dishonored? It's going to be nuts. Plus Deus Ex looking pretty spectacular as well too, and I just love the fact now that you do not have to fight bosses. That was one of my few and only complaints really about the original Deus Ex for PS3 and Xbox 360 was that I stealthed the game completely, and it was a pain in the ass, and it was hard, but it was so fulfilling. But these 3 boss fights that you have to do kind of like took me out of it. I was this badass stealth secret agent kind of guy, and I had to go guns blazing, and I didn't put points into the combat into my guy, so combat was actually really hard fighting these bosses.
Yeah, did you guys ever play
sorry to cut you off, but did you guys ever play the director's cut of that game? Because apparently they fixed a lot of stuff in that, but like...
Dude, I put like a couple hundred hours into that game, platinuming it, and I was kind of done.
Yeah.
By the time Director's Editions came, do I really want to do this
again?
again?
That's the thing, like, it came out, and it was pretty cheap too. I think it was like $20-$30, and I was like, damn, this is pretty awesome that they fixed all this stuff, but like, little too late, really, to go back to it. I mean, there were other things at the time, and like, you know, if you already gone through the game and dealt with the shitty boss fights, then like, I don't know. It really, really felt like a chore, and it really hampered a lot of the game, which was too bad. But like, hopefully they take that criticism going forward.
They should have made it as an option in the game. Like, when you start, do you want to do this, or do you want to have the ability to bypass? Because there's a lot of people out there that do want to just shoot the shit out of things, and that's cool too. And Dishonored and Deus Ex both allow for that. Like, if you want to specialize and put your points, your level up, or whatever you want to call it, into combat, by all means, you can have at her and do that. But
Dishonored allowed you to play through the entire game Ghost, and you didn't have to kill anyone, which Deus Ex almost did, but you had to kill the bosses.
Yes,
which was a bummer.
Your big E3 game, Archer. What are you looking forward to, other than Dishonored, of course?
When is E3 again? It's like
June.
July or
June 16th.
Yeah.
Thank
June
you.
16th?
Yes.
Well, Archer's thinking about that. I can say for a fact. I mean, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind when it happens. Like, it's just going to happen. I'm going to scream like Ned Flanders, like a little girl, in sheer joy. But I want to know what the fuck is going on with this Tom Clancy.
The Division?
The Division, yes, absolutely. It looked so crazy. The graphics look amazing, and I mean, it's most likely run on PC, and they're showing the PC trailers for this and PC gameplay for this.
Well, now that I can play it on PC, I'm a little bit more excited.
Yeah, fuck those console noobs, and they're locked in at 30 frames or whatever the hell it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game looked amazing. It's got that cool single player, it's got that RPG element, but it's also got those zones where you're a multiplayer all of a sudden. It's all doing this very seamlessly, and you can co-op it. This game just looked amazing. They grabbed my attention right away, and I loved what I saw, but now there's been this kind of hush. There's nothing. So I'm really hoping that we see more with the Division and get a release date. Like, you know, I want to see when this game's coming out. This has been the second year now.
Wasn't it confirmed that it was supposed to come out later this year at least?
You know, last I heard, I heard something about a delay. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Shocked.
But, you know, for me, that's kind of a big one that I want to see too at E3. I want to see more about the Division. I want to see more what's going on. So, you know, I guess another big question for you guys, Star Wars Battlefront, do you even give a shit?
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, to answer your question about E3, yeah, I'm really psyched for that, and I hope that they show a lot of stuff with it, because Battlefront was the shit back in the day. Like, it was so much fun, and, you know, the potential for a game like that on next gen is insane. Like, you know, when you were playing it on PS2, you were content with having, like, you know, some NPCs running around, and you're like, oh, these maps are, like, pretty big, and, like, but, like, to be able to go online now with a game like that and play with, like, dozens, potentially hundreds of players, depending on how the servers are.
Yeah, no Battlefield can do 32 versus 32.
But, I mean, let's be honest, 2 weeks into the game, you're not going to be able to get on a server, regardless.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, though, and this is a kind of, I don't know if it's a deal breaker for me, but I don't like it, but apparently there's no ADS, or aim-down sights. It's all hip firing from what I've been reading on it. Really? The newest thing of news was
but here's the
there's
thing.
not going to be any ADS.
It's not like a car system or anything that they have?
Well, I don't know. Again, there's not a lot of detail on this game, but from what I can tell and what I've read, no ADS. So it's going to be a lot of hip firing, a lot of Stormtrooper, I guess.
Well, let me tell you this. It's going to be going to be very hard to aim down sight with a lightsaber. And
yeah, I guess that makes sense too. But I mean, how often? Again, that's another question. Like, how often are you going to be able to be some of these legendary heroes in saber battle? And you know, that's a big question for me too. I guess I hope they get answered. It's like, how much of this game am I going to be running around like a stormtrooper, not hitting anything with my machine gun laser thing, blaster pistol?
That would be like
way to show your true nerd colors.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty accurate to the movies though. They couldn't hit shit in those.
Yeah, you know, but you know, again, and then the no space combat, and a lot of people, I know the internet's kind of been snarky about that. I know EA's promised something similar to that. That's going to be, you know, in place. Yeah, probably most likely. Yeah. The world we live in, man. They're gonna try and fucking milk us for whatever we're worth. But I mean, for me, I like aim down sights. I play most of my shooters. Like, I don't play as much shooters as I used to, but for me, I like being accurate. I don't like unloading the clip. I'm that guy who checks his corners and fires when he knows he has a shot. I don't just spray and pray at. And for me, it's kind of off-putting. And I don't know,
but speaking of first-person shooters, Black Ops 3, are you in or out?
I don't know.
You mean Black Ops Deus Ex Edition?
Exactly.
I love this story because I'm a big fan of Deus Ex. Like Archer was saying, this trailer, and maybe it's just the one trailer. I don't know, but it does come across as very Deus Ex, and I do like that concept because here in reality we're very similar to that kind of a scenario possibly happening with prosthesis, and how far do we take it and how far do we go, and again, of course, the world we live in, the military is going to go apeshit with this. How do we weaponize it? How do we, make these super soldiers, or make robots that'll kill and not care and not hesitate? And it's a very cool story. And I think if they can tell a story like they did in the last one, Advanced Warfare.
But do you think people by now are super tired of the whole exoskeleton Halo-esque jump style?
I think so, and I think as long as Treyarch avoids the double jump, make it too sci-fi. I think we'll be okay. Like the transforming the arm into the gun looked really cool. So maybe if they do more stuff like that and keep it still kind of grounded, if that makes any kind of sense, maybe we can get excited for something like that. I don't know. I just think for me, if they can do the story like they did with Spacey, get a good villain, get a good hero, and tell a really good narrative, I think that's half your battle. But let's face it.
So what you're saying,
multiplayer.
So what you're saying is they exo jump the shark.
How hype would it be if at the end of the game, the main villain, the whole game had a mask on the entire time, takes it off, it's burnt up Kevin Spacey. You're like,
oh, I totally thought you were. I totally thought you were.
It's actually a sequel.
I totally thought you were going to say it was Christopher Walken.
No.
Shout out to Jazz for those hand gestures.
Jazz.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. To me, it's. We all know it's going to make a ton of money. Treyarch is super famous for their fucking zombie mode. If this game sucks, it won't matter if their zombies are good, right? That's pretty much what people are spending $60 on for a new set of zombie maps, really.
They're gonna have robot arms and shit.
Yeah, robot zombie arms? How do they control that?
I could just never get behind a game type where there's no winning. You just hold out until you die. I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. It's not for me. I'm not a fan. Like my boy, he's 12, and that's all he does is he plays zombies with his friends, and that's all they do. They can do that for 8 hours a day. Just play that mode.
Yeah, but I think it's the fact that there is no resolution is what keeps people grinding it, because
it's teamwork, I guess.
You're always wanting to get better, and since there is no definitive end to it, right? There's always more to do.
Yeah, go farther, push farther. See how far you can make it, I guess, each time.
Yeah, exactly. And I imagine for a lot of players with that, I don't really have much experience with zombies, but I imagine for the first while, it kind of becomes clockwork after a while. You understand how the zombie waves work, and you know where the weapons are, and you can manipulate it. And then you get to a certain point that you've never been before, and shit just goes wild, and you improv, and you die, and then you could get back to that point. You remember, okay, I need to do this now.
At the end of the day, it's going to make a shit ton of money. Really, we know this. I think Advanced Warfare again. I think was that tipping point. If that game sucked, that was the end of the franchise. But since it was really good, I think.
Well, it was the highest selling game of last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's kind of and Totes is right. It is unfortunate because these guys aren't going to really mess with their systems, and they should. Their matchmaking is fucking horrible.
But here's the thing: for people that complain that it's the same thing every year, why hasn't there been a remake? I would.
You and this goddamn Modern Warfare 2 remake.
That was the first game I downloaded on PC. Now that I can play, any game to get a remake. Modern Warfare, I haven't played it yet.
NoobTube Heaven. Modern Warfare 2.
It's all about the tack knife.
Oh, God.
You get in close and you poke them.
And strangely enough, that was the Modern Warfare I probably spent the most of my time in any Call of Duty game. I probably played that one the most.
I think I sank a full month into it.
Hands down.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If they remake it, fix the fucking spawns and multiplayer.
The maps are too small. That's the problem, right?
Oh my God.
Here's the thing, though. I would take a straight port. I would pay $100 for that.
Oh my God.
No questions asked. Straight. Like, don't even fix anything.
No.
If
EA called Toads.
Okay.
Yeah, please give me a call. Send me a demo copy. I don't even care. I will play that. I will play it all day.
And you're not alone. God, you're not alone. And you know what? In the world of remakes and HD remasters, and I'm surprised this hasn't happened too.
Well, but thank God we got God of War coming.
Yeah, for those people that
Who asked for that remake?
I'm just gonna say, if I have to play Modern Warfare remake, and I fucking what's that map called where it's like that giant street that goes downwards kind of, and like there's houses along the side.
Oh, yes, it has the
it's
too. There's the
Favela.
3 levels.
Favela, right?
There's like
No, he's talking about the other one where there's the stairwells.
No,
And then there's the
Karachi as well.
I don't remember what it's called, but basically it was this giant street, and like the road was very wide, and it kind of went down on a slant, and there was like a house at the very top of the hill, and then there was another bombed out house at the bottom where a lot of people would snipe from, and like there were buildings all along the side.
That actually does sound like Favela. The more you describe it,
I don't remember what it's called, but
Was
regardless,
there a soccer field in
no,
this map?
no, it's pretty much just the street going. But
anyway,
yeah, I remember one time playing that game, and I died to an airstrike, hit respawn, and died
to the same airstrike.
I
Oh my
spawned
God!
into it, and I was like, "Okay, fuck this game.
Yeah.
Like this is
I got
this is
so
pretty
mad.
dumb."
Listen, as long as it's not all you noobs voting Afghan 24/7, I'm in.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that map.
You can have my money.
Sniper's Paradise, you mean?
No, I don't even snipe. I
Yeah.
just think it was a fun game.
I thought it was hilarious
Oh.
in that map how like the Americans had like all desert camo, and then the like terrorists
Whoa there,
were
buddy.
like dressed in black with like fucking red headbands.
Like they wouldn't know how to dress in their own environment.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this like, come on, guys, you didn't even try.
Yeah. Okay, well, what do you think's going to happen with E3 winning E3? And unfortunately, in my opinion, PC should always win E3. And we're actually PC gamers are going to get a booth and a show this year at E3, which I think is pretty exciting. But I mean, let's face it, it's going to be about Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And you know what? Honestly, I think Nintendo's going to have a huge announcement here at E3. They just announced that. Yes, we're making a new console. That's it. End of statement. We're not going to continue. We're not going to make any other statements until later, right?
It was like 2 years ago. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo just announced they're making new hardware, and that's it. They didn't make any comment. They just said they're gonna. The only comment they made is that they're gonna make another comment on it.
The only comment I'm looking for from Nintendo is their console doesn't have a stupid name. The
Yeah.
Wii U is the stupidest name.
Their code names are always better.
Yeah, the new 3DS, really?
Yeah. Well, the Wii U's
You're
code
literally
name
not
was-
trying.
Yeah, the Wii
Like, it's
U's
a whole
code name
level.
was Revolution. If they would have called them the
That'd be
Nintendo
cool.
Revolution, yeah, man, here you go. I mean, they got their money anyway. I bought a fucking Wii U.
And it's confirmed that it's like an actual home console. It's not another handheld.
Yeah, it was confirmed that they're going to make another home console, and that was it. I mean, and then apparently, fucking GameStop Australia is taking pre-orders on it. It's vaporware at this point, and
So
GameStop
it's-
Australia is taking
well,
So
pre-orders.
it's Mortal Kombat for
It's-
the current gen, or last gen, I should say.
Well, it's basically just a Kickstarter, is it not? Because
So, I mean, now that I honestly think, are we going to see big things from Sony and Microsoft this year? This next generation, I kind of feel has been very slow to go.
there's a few games that you have not heard anything from that company since last year. Phantom Dust, do you guys remember
I thought
that
was
trailer?
canceled.
Was it?
I
Shit.
thought Microsoft canceled that because
Oops.
I was doing some reading on it, and I'm not 100%. I can't, don't quote me on this because I don't remember everything 100% verbatim. But the developers for Phantom Dust basically said they can make this game for, let's say, I don't know, $5 million. Microsoft said, "Great, go ahead and do that." So when E3 came along last year, when they showed that Wicked trailer, apparently that had nothing to do with their game footage. They just threw together a trailer.
No, because it's a card game.
for the game, yeah. And so Microsoft then said developer, we want multiplayer in this. Can you do that? And they said, yeah, sure. But then they realized into the development cycle, apparently, oh fuck, we can't do this. We need more money. So when they went to Microsoft to ask for more money, they're like, no, fuck you. You signed a contract saying $5 million. That's what you get. And we can't do that. So Microsoft shit-canned them all. They're all done. Now that might not mean that this game is done per se, but right now it's kind of in hiatus or.
Well, wasn't there a game a while ago that released a trailer?
Quantum
No.
theory. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Let's just skip past that one. That one doesn't exist. There was that trailer that released a few months back where it kept cutting to a person with no face with like smoke billowing out of them. It looked almost like a horror game. I can't remember. It might have been Ubisoft.
Maybe.
But that was all that was released. It was just this weird teaser trailer, and there's been nothing since. So
yeah, for me personally, between Microsoft and Sony, I want to see something that knocks my socks off. Like for the last, how long have these machines been out? Almost 3 years now, I guess. Like 2 years. All we see are HD re-releases and rehashes of games we already played, like the Handsome Jack collection. I mean, let's look at my library. Borderlands Handsome Collection, Dark Souls, Diablo, Metro, Final Fantasy Type 0, yeah, The Last of Us, Tomb Raider. Like 80% of my library is last gen touched up on this generation, right? So I want to see a truly next gen game that fucking goes, wow, I'm so glad I dropped $500 on this machine, be it my Xbox One or my PS4. And go, holy shit, wow, cool, this is what I should have got when I bought this thing, right? I mean, I just feel very underwhelmed with this current generation of software. And it's really I spend more time on my PC because at least my PC, I can add mods and add to my game instead of just...
Well, that would lead into my most anticipated game that I don't think is going to be at E3, but Yooka-Laylee. You guys seen anything on that?
Yeah, it got kickstarted and it got back
44 minutes.
Yeah, it's
it got kickstarted.
The spiritual successor to Banjo-Tooie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It has a little lizard and a bat as the characters. It's a 3D platformer, so hopefully that brings it back.
Yeah, nice.
I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, everything seems to come around in a circle, right? I mean, the horror games just came back. It was big in the 90s, the late 90s with the Resident Evil explosion, and then it went away for a while, now it's coming back. And hopefully, you're right, Totes. Hopefully, with the platformers, they're fun. If done really well. I mean,
do you think there will be a new Resident Evil announced? Or do you think we're still a few years out?
I think we might be a few years out on that one, to be honest with you. I honestly believe we're definitely going to see horror from somebody. Like,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Until Dawn's still not out, so...
Yeah, and I think that's probably what we're going to see at E3. We're probably going to see a lot more on that. Probably even gameplay. I would say we'd see gameplay on that. I just want, I really do, I want to see something from Microsoft and Sony. I want to see one piece of software each. And it doesn't even have to be first party, but I just want to see something that goes, oh man, I'm so glad I own that system. Like, this is going to be awesome.
I already got that. For me, it's Mortal Kombat because the PC version sucks balls, and you can pretty much only play it on PS4 or Xbox right now. And
yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, and you're right. That's true. They can't be played on last gen things too. So that's great for you, I guess. But
well, I mean, the thing is that the company that's doing it, like doing the PC and last gen ports,
it's not Neversoft.
What? No, it's a company called High Voltage, and NetherRealm did the like PS4 and Xbox version. And the company that did the PC port really fucked up. It's in pretty rough shape, and that's not going great. So I don't imagine that they're going to get to the last gen versions anytime soon.
Yeah,
because they've been spending like the last month trying to make their PC
current
game
version work,
actually function. And it's not really working, so... But yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of depends who you're into, right? Like, there needs to be some... I'd like to see, like, an action-adventure kind of game.
You know what I'd really like to see, too? And I don't know what the hell happened to it. I'd like to see Ubisoft actually come out and say, hey, look, we got another Splinter Cell game. Because Blacklist was great, and Archer, you know this, because we played it together. We did the whole co-op in almost one sitting in an evening. We had a great time with it. Controls were excellent. I didn't even care that it wasn't Michael Ironside voicing Sam Fisher. I mean,
I'm still pretty salty with that, but
well, you can't do it forever, eh? Like Mark Hamill and the Joker, you can only do these roles so long, and then you move on, or you can't do them anymore. But I mean, that game technically was fantastic. I loved it. The story was really cool. The character still felt really cool and badass. More importantly, the co-op was just super fun. I mean, we had a blast playing that. I want to see. Like, where is this game? Like, Ubisoft, I mean, you can pump out Assassin's Creed every year, but you can't make another Splinter Cell game? It just seems kind of odd to me, so...
The thing about stealth games is, like, they're a little less accessible because, like, people like us who really enjoy them don't mind sitting in the shadow.
But you could
for
blast
5
your way
minutes.
through that one too. Again,
Yeah.
my 12-year-old son played it,
though.
and he just friggin' machine
That's
gunned
my
his way
style.
through it, right?
That's
So,
my style.
I mean, you can do that on like the easier difficulties, but if you want to play,
not that I'm saying that everyone should let the 12-year-old sons play Splinter Cell
Yeah.
Blacklist.
disclaimer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like,
This podcast is not sponsored to you by the ESRB.
yeah. I don't know. The thing about those games is you kind of have to be comfortable with like sitting for a while,
Observing.
yeah, just watching shit, watching how
Being Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Just like watching how that stuff functions in the world and like how the guards react and stuff. And you know, like that's really not for everyone. Not a lot of gamers now, especially with the like ADHD craze of stuff like Call of Duty. And
But I mean, Blacklist
stuff,
sold
like,
well enough. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ubi said they did really well with that one. They sold a lot of copies too.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really need that? Does anyone really give a shit about another Assassin's Creed game? Unless you're a goddamn samurai in fucking Japan, I don't give a shit. Assassin's Creed. The best one they did personally for me was the pirate one. Black Flag. That game was fucking awesome.
Well, I mean,
goddamn pirate. So
you
give me
guys-
ninjas and samurais now. We're good.
You guys have always liked Assassin's Creed, but like I love Far Cry, and
Yes.
yeah, Far Cry 4 was good, but again, it was pretty similar to 3, which is exactly where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
They released that there was a poll that fans could vote on to decide which location the next game would take place in,
Yep.
and one of them was like a modern day. Forgive me for saying this, but Jurassic Park, and I am so down.
You want to be doing Turok shit again? Killing
Yes.
dinosaurs?
If you add dinosaurs to your video game, send me a copy. I am in.
You know, I think it could be done really well, but what am I doing? Am I skinning little dinosaurs to make bandolier pouches? And
You know
then a
what?
T-Rex
You could-
jumps out and fucking wrecks me or something?
But how cool would that be, just to be hunting in the wild, then just a T-Rex burst
I
through?
think part of the problem with that, though, is everything can kill you, literally. Like,
Actually, you know what would be kind of neat? Do you guys remember Trespasser? Jurassic Park Trespasser? It was like late 90s. It was a really old PC game.
no.
Predates me.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm an old guy and I never heard of it.
Oh, really? Well, basically, it was like I wouldn't call it a horror game, but it was like a survival game where you were this woman that gets stranded on one of the islands. Yeah, one of the islands after InGen just fucked everything up and it's all gone, right? And it was pretty interesting. It wasn't like very focused on combat. It was more focused on running away and surviving. Whereas like, and I'd like to see another game like that with dinosaurs. I think that'd be the way to go. Like to add,
Considering that's what we fucking do.
yeah, exactly. To add like that kind of that fear and dread of actually.
Except for
running
Toads,
into
he's got his knife, come at me.
Listen,
Let's
Yeah,
do this.
Listen,
that's
I-
not realistic though. And, like, you know, you can have
Dinosaurs aren't realistic either.
Listen,
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to outrun any dinosaur. All I have to do is outrun
The
you.
slowest guy in the group.
With a knife, I'm not.
Yeah,
Think about it.
yeah.
Gonna Shane on The Walking Dead, that guy?
Yeah, everybody runs fast with a knife. Come on.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to see a lot of attention on Assassin's Creed from Ubisoft. I don't. We know what's coming. We know it's probably England by the leaks and the spoilers, and who gives a shit? The people who are going to care. And just move on. Do some more. Like we want to see The Division. We want to see
Rainbow Six.
Maybe,
Yeah,
more Rainbow
that's pretty
Six.
cool.
We want to see, I don't know, something in the Far Cry universe, even a teaser of something.
We want to see Jessica Chobot.
Although we don't want to see Watch Dogs 2.
No,
For the love of God.
You mean GTA Lite?
GTA with gravelly voices.
1 month is a long enough time to spend in Los Santos, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I want to, but and again, going back, I just want to see something different from Nintendo as well. I think
They have to.
It's hard to say. Like, I think Nintendo's really onto something too. Especially with these goddamn amiibos. I mean, these things are fucking retarded. They sell-
You know what's probably going to be there? Their mobile games.
Oh, that's right. They're getting into the mobile arena,
really?
Yes.
which is, I hope that's a very small part of their show. I hope they really,
Yes.
I hope Nintendo really says, "I've missed you guys. Welcome back, guys. We're rolling out a mature machine here. We're gonna schmooze the third-party developers again. We want to be that system that's in everyone's home." Now,
I think
they're not going to
there's-
get rid of their Marios and whatever, and I think they shouldn't. They should still put out that kid
Yeah.
crap. But you know what? Embrace the
Kid
gamer.
crap.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's what you're saying. Man.
Yeah,
You're
that is true
bricks
too. I
thrown at
mean,
your
there's
window here.
that
I
meme
mean,
that goes like Call of Duty, who it's targeted at, and it shows this picture of 17-year-old dude bros, and then people playing it, and it shows these little kids. And then it shows Pokemon, who it's designed for, and it's those little kids, and then who's actually playing it, and it's those dude bros.
Remember the time that you made fun of me for so long for playing
Yes,
Pokemon?
the one time you were right. I love Pokemon. I made fun of Toads forever until I played it, and yes, it's a fantastic.
No big deal. You
fantastic-
put like 105 hours in.
Yeah, something like that.
Huge.
So, but I really want to see Nintendo.
I think what
come
Nintendo
out.
is going to bring is, I think they're going to bring Star Fox, because that's
that'd
been
be
in the
sweet.
works for a while.
Yeah.
That was already leaked. A little bit more of Zelda gameplay is going to be released. I want them to have a new first party, because Zelda's not coming out this year now. What do they have during the holidays?
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing that I know of, unless
More amiibos. They'll get by.
amiibos.
If
And
they
then,
produce them.
They'll just make like 10 of each
Yeah.
and then make everyone fight to the death for them.
yeah, well, and it's nuts. I mean, hopefully they maybe we'll get a new peripheral. Like with Star Fox, maybe we're going to see like the Virtual Boy, a new version of it come out where, like kind of like with Oculus Rift that's happening, or who knows? I mean, that's the beautiful part of E3 is who knows what's going to happen. Nintendo's great for kind of throwing those curveballs, right? Like with Amiibos, we all thought, it's crap. But then they're this ridiculous success. Right?
Honestly, here's a freebie. Nintendo, listen up. Pokemon Snap 2 would be perfect for any of your systems.
Or a
Any
Pokemon,
of them.
or a Pokemon for the console.
Yes, that would be good as well.
Done. You bundle it with a. Well, you don't bundle it with a console because people are going to buy a shit ton of your console just for that.
I say
game.
both.
You sell it separately.
Yeah, both.
You could do both. Like 6 months later, bundle it with the machine, sell a ton more machines. But I personally, I'm kind of rooting for Nintendo. I haven't played their games in a very long time, and they don't target me, and that's pretty much why. I mean, there's so much games that you can play.
Well, Fatal Frame got the port to North America, or it's coming at least.
Oh, nice. I'm just not their target audience anymore, and they're not targeting us. They don't care. Like, they want to go after that family casual market that they created. But I'd like to see them do a 180 and say, hey, look, man, we haven't forgot about you guys. Welcome back. We're here. We're sorry we abandoned you. Let's just get back, to the way things used to be. And I would be a Nintendo guy. I would. I really
That being
would.
said, I'm still super excited if they make a new Mario.
Yeah, and those games are good. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just I can't play them like I used to. For me, like if Nintendo came out and made a game, made a system like the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 that can play all these really sweet games like Mortal Kombat and Star Wars Battlefront and my Splinter Cell Assassin's Creed games, and then I can still get those great Mario parties and Mario whatever.
If Dubes is listening to this, he's going to be yelling at
Yeah,
you right
for
now,
sure.
right?
Then
Like-
I would only ever own a PC and Nintendo. I would literally leave Sony and Microsoft if I could get everything that I needed or wanted from that system. I mean, really, unless they did another Last of Us, I'd happily get a Sony machine. But for that, I wouldn't care otherwise, right? I would love to see Nintendo make this huge leap.
I want to see
That
them.
thing together.
I want to see them get some rights to some decent games as well. They made a big push for Bayonetta, and it paid off huge.
Yeah, and it scored really well, and
Nines and tens.
kudos to them for including the original with it. I think that was great value to that package as well too. And I think it showed too that people, to go with my point, I think it shows that people are hungry for that mature content on that console too. There's a lot of dads out there that only buy one machine, like, oh great, I got Bayonetta and that's it, and then their kids get the rest.
Yeah, get
10
your
o'clock, wife and kids are in bed, throwing some Bayonetta,
time to get some dominatrix hero action.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So I mean, I don't know.
That's
I mean,
very
I kind
life, right?
of, I don't want to say I've lost faith with Sony and
Not that I
Microsoft.
would know.
I just think
Speak for yourself.
I just think they're riding on their success right now. I think Microsoft and Sony, they know they have our money. They know they don't have to really work for it. They're like that hot girlfriend. They don't have to do much to impress you. They just got to show up.
Well, sexist, bro.
Or boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. But they don't have to work that hard anymore, right? They're, in their eyes, they're the only two choices. And
They're coasting.
And I would love to see something shake it up. And whether it's the new Steam box or just, I'd love to see something else. Or like I said, Nintendo. I want to see somebody else enter the arena and make these guys all do a head turn and go, oh my god, we gotta fucking step our game up here.
Yeah.
I think I will legitimately lose my shit though if this quote-unquote Steam box has exclusives like Left 4 Dead.
Oh my god,
I would lose my
After
shit.
dropping your 1200 on
I
your
know.
PC?
That would kill me.
It'll come out 100 years from now with Half-Life 3.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's the most
But
overhyped
it'll
game to
actually
me.
only come out, and they're going to be like, actually, Half-Life 3 doesn't exist. We were just trolling you this whole time.
It's just the intro screen. You press start and it goes.
Gabe Newell's going to be like one of those heads in a jar from Futurama, and it's going to be like, no, never happened.
If you hate me for not liking Half-Life, like, comment, and subscribe.
For sure.
You don't like that game?
No, I was never a big fan.
Really? Why is that?
It just felt kind of basic to me, like...
Gravity gun, though, bro.
Exactly.
Cool.
Like, it's a cool mechanic, but it's just like using this gun to progress through boring stages.
Do you think we're going to see Batman at E3?
Yeah, probably.
Especially since it's coming out, like June, was it June?
I'm going to say no.
19th?
I'm going to say WB, they're going to either be pushing something to do with Mortal Kombat, maybe a second DLC pass.
Yeah.
WB's got a lot on their plate. Let's see Shadows of Mordor 2. That game did successfully.
Well, we're going to see Game of the Year edition, probably.
Yeah. WB has always got something on the go.
With MK, their release schedule is pretty slow. Like, I think they were supposed to have Jason out, like, weeks before they actually did. I don't know if that was true, but, like, there was a leaked DLC schedule a while ago that suggested Jason was going to come out, like, last week of April, and then Predator was going to come out, like, last week of May, with Tanya in between, like, a release schedule of every 2 weeks. But, I mean, given, like, how fucked up their PC version is right now, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I imagine...
I think it's also
super
smart,
though.
But again, with Batman, coming back to Batman, it's a huge franchise. I mean, Batman Arkham Origins kind of didn't do so hot. And this game, it's a Rocksteady game. I think there's a lot of hype for it.
Customize your Batmobile, though.
Yeah, is there such thing as too much, though? Like, I mean, the last trailer, we saw Batman working in tandem with Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl has been announced in the season pass, which all looks really cool, but are we seeing too much now before the game launches? Is it kind of like, for me, it's almost...
Wait, is this Batgirl pre or post wheelchair?
I think it's pre-wheelchair?
Yeah. I don't know.
She wasn't rolling around in one in the trailer.
I mean, less so.
It wasn't Rocksteady, but they did do a really good job with Arkham Origins of not, dropping the ball on the whole Joker reveal.
Yeah.
Like they with all the hype in the trailers, they were like, Black Mask is going to be the main villain, and then like fucking 3 hours in the game, you're like, oh, it's actually Joker.
Well, even though it's canon that the Arkham Knight is a new character, I'm still calling the Joker Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
I'm still calling it.
No, because he's supposed to be Batman's physical equal.
I'm still calling
And
it.
I don't think... who knows? Who knows, right? But
I'm telling you, if it's not Joker, it's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
That's my goal. My guess, not my goal.
But Harley's in the game. We've already seen her.
That's okay. She can be in a suit, too. Costumes change.
Yeah.
I guess.
Just ask Jared Leto.
Yeah. What do we think of this Suicide Squad business? Now, before we get into Jared Leto, here's my whole take on it. I honestly think, and I'm a DC Comics nerd, and I have been since the early 90s, hence my love for the Superman, and I barely knew who the Suicide Squad is, and I just think it's kind of, not silly, but why are we focusing, Warner Brothers, on this Suicide Squad? Like, I think you should be doing what Marvel's doing. Focus on your core heroes, do that, roll out the phase, kind of like what Marvel did, then do a Justice League movie, and then do all these
But you can
separates.
actually thank Marvel for that, because you know who else is a B-list team that not many people knew about? Guardians of the Galaxy?
I guess, that's a great point. But I mean, Guardians has a little more appeal, right? Like Groot's cute, Raccoon's kind of cute as well too. With
Well, I mean, Killer Croc's pretty cute, right?
yeah,
No?
or the Suicide Squad,
Slipknot?
they're criminals that the government deems their lives not worth squat, so they're the guys they send out to do the impossible missions.
Don't
right?
they have Batfleck in that movie?
Yeah.
That's the rumor. He was on set.
Yeah,
so
so I mean,
You can't really credit IMDb, but it's on there.
Yeah, I mean, if they use that movie as a way to introduce Batman for the Batman v Superman movie, that could be pretty cool.
Well, I think that movie's coming out before.
It got pushed till after Avengers, I think.
Yeah, I think Batman's coming out before Suicide Squad.
Oh, really?
Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that they should be doing, not copying, but I mean, why not? I mean, Marvel's got such a fantastic template of how to do these movies, and I think we have characters that are good enough now. I think Jason Momoa is going to be a great Aquaman.
Yes.
Like they should be really focusing on getting your big seven of the Justice League established. Do that Justice League movie, and then you can worry about these side projects. I mean, I know for any of you out there that hate me for this, the Suicide Squad, they don't seem to me like the Avengers or the Justice League. Like, who do we really care?
But I love DC, but I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the Justice League characters don't seem like they could really have a movie of their own and be on par with, say, the
Hey,
Avengers.
Joss Whedon's free now. Who knows? Maybe he does Justice
I don't
League,
know,
makes it
just
awesome.
seems you know, I don't know. I just feel like Aquaman movie by itself or something wouldn't be that interesting.
Let's get to the real topic here, though, Archer, because you're a big fan of this individual. Well, what's that, Toads?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, speaking as somebody coming from a Marvel perspective, because that's what I was raised with, I think it's great marketing that they're going with the Suicide Squad or they're going with Justice League first. They're doing the opposite of what Marvel did. Marvel's got levity, it's got comedy. They established everything slowly, one by one, and then they added a big ensemble cast.
And it could work.
Well, what DC is doing is
just, to me,
it's gritty, it's dark, and they're starting with the ensemble, going, there you go, watch the ones you like.
Yeah, and that could work too. Like I said, just my opinion is I'd like to see, and I'm more of a classic traditionalist when it comes to comics. I think my Superman should have bright blue, not dark, metallic blue. With heroes should be bright. They should be beacons of hope. And I know it's an outdated, outmoded. Yes, of course.
He should be fighting Hellraiser and Hellraiser 3.
Yeah, you know,
or 4.
I don't know. So maybe you're right. Maybe the Suicide Squad does great. I don't. I just think that they should be focusing on that Justice League. But I mean, as I was saying before, Archer. You're a big fan of the Joker. I think we can all agree here between the three of us that you love the Joker like I love Superman. And what are your thoughts on this new Leto look here?
Why don't you marry him?
Okay, I don't know if that would turn out very well. Well, they showed that picture, right? And he had all the tattoos. They have confirmed apparently that the huge amount of tattoos that he has isn't actually going to be featured in the film. It was just kind of
promotional.
It was supposed to show the direction they're kind of taking the character, which is cool. And
hopefully they get rid of the forehead tattoo.
Yeah,
good damage.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
I actually don't mind it.
Really? I don't know.
Joker.
You don't need to say he's damned. Like, we know he's twisted and fucked. Like, he's literally one of the greatest villains of all time. We don't need an advertisement on his forehead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jared Leto is a really good actor, and I think he can, if he puts himself into the role as much as someone like Heath Ledger did,
now,
then he'll do really well.
Do you feel that maybe all this tattoos and direction is to kind of get away from the Ledger Nicholson?
Think so. I mean, like, he could. I think if they wanted, they could go the Nicholson direction and have it really pay off.
Because I think Leto will kill it. I mean, he's an Oscar-winning actor, and we all know he's a good actor. It's just, for me, he doesn't look like the Joker.
Here's two things that I've heard most about it. One, I really like it because, in case you guys haven't noticed, the pictures that have been taken of him have been in the iconic Joker comic poses.
Yes.
One was from The Killing Joke, the other was from The Dark Knight, I think.
I believe so, yes.
And
with the suit, the
yes,
laser, yeah, that was Dark Knight, and then the camera one was The Killing Joke. Where he's posing with the camera.
Yeah, like he's making his own character, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. His tattoos can be applied, like the tattoo on his forearm with the smile. The way Batman pulls his cape over his mouth, Joker can do the same with the giant smile.
I'm not worried about the body tattoos so much because is really the Joker going to be running around half naked throughout the movie? Probably not, really. The forehead tattoo bugs me. I don't even mind.
Well, that's just it. That's the second thing that I've heard the most from people is he doesn't look like the Joker. He looks like somebody cosplaying as the Joker or somebody who's a fan of the Joker.
And hopefully it's just a bad picture too. Like, I also realize it could be a bad picture. There's a lot more pictures of Harley now than there is of Jared Leto's Joker, so it could be just a bad pick. Because I didn't like Harley's look at first too, and the more I'm seeing, I'm coming around to it.
No issues with that at all. Maggie Robbie, call me.
I mean, she looks fantastic, and the more I see and the more I see comparisons, she's modeled after the new 52 Harley, which is and she looks fairly accurate.
Apparently, she's got about 8 costume changes, and they're going to go through all of them now.
Sweet.
I can't wait for classic Harley.
I want to see the classic leotard from the WB cartoon.
Apparently, it's in it.
That would be so awesome.
The thing is with just going back a little bit with Jared Leto's Joker is as long as he does his own thing, I think it'll pay off really well because Heath Ledger did an amazing job as the Joker, but leave it alone. It was its own thing, and don't in any way try to replicate that because
but actually Ledger was heavily influenced by Nicholson's Joker.
Absolutely, and I mean you have to be influenced by the actors and how they portrayed the previous roles, but you can't rip it.
And I don't try to make it your own.
And I don't think he's going to. Definitely, like he's definitely talented enough to do whatever he wants with it. But like, I think that he would need to like show the same dedication to the role that Heath Ledger did if he wants to do a noteworthy performance. Because like Heath Ledger set the bar really high for that role, and
you know what? Just to quickly stop you there. Remember what happened when we all heard Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker? The internet went fucking insane.
Gay cowboy guy?
Yeah, the internet went insane with the hate for this guy, and much the same, like Leto could be very much the very same way as Ledger, right, and just kill this role. Yeah. For me, my problems were mostly the picture that I saw. I didn't like the forehead tattoo, with his hair and his hands in his hair, and he's screaming, and the teeth. And I actually found, and it made sense, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but the teeth was because this is supposed to be older. Batman and Joker are older, right?
Batman's knocked his teeth out.
Yeah, and that's cool. And then hearing that, and then with the tattoos, like the body tattoos anyways, well, him and Harley have been in jail for a long time, and what do people in jail do, right? Yeah. They get tattoos, work out, and kill people, or whatever.
Well, I mean...
whatever they do in Arkham, right?
I gotta say, my only issue with the Suicide Squad so far is that the cast is so big. The cast photo that you saw is not the full cast.
Another big thing, though, with the squad is Killer Croc. He needs to be a monstrous presence. He is like an 8-foot-something monster that's supposed to be scary as fuck.
Which is nice, but
6 foot.
I had real issue with the cast, the prom photo of all the characters together. Killer Croc looked terrible, at least to me. But having seen him in the other shots, like the set shots, he looks great. Yeah. I'm really happy with it, and I think they're going to do awesome with that movie.
Yeah, for Killer Croc, they just need to, like, if they want to make it more grounded, he can be just a huge.
Well, they could do like with the Hobbits, right? Those guys weren't really Hobbit-sized children. Yeah. They just used the camera tricks, right? And I know, but they should have made Croc.
Tom Cruise has made movies for how long?
He needs to, he needs to look relatively normal. Like he's supposed to be a guy with a very rare skin disease, right? From my understanding.
Depending on, I think the lore on Croc's changed a few times, actually.
He used to be small and gray.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, genetics or something. And
it's like, okay, I'll do a comparison to Bane here. Like, how they portrayed Bane in Nolan's third movie there, it was like, I mean, he looked like a real person that was just this big-ass dude who could fight really well, and like
he was born in the darkness.
Yeah, sure.
Molded by it.
I mean, like the thing is with Killer Croc is like it's gonna take away from the realism of the movie if he is like this 9-foot tall dude that looks way too scaly.
Well, that's the thing about Croc though, is he is exactly what you see is what you get. He's supposed to be this big mountain of muscle. He's not the smartest kid on the block, and that's what he is. He's a terrifying fucking monster that if you see him, you're pretty much dead. And the only person who can really defeat him, or even hold him at bay, not even defeat him, is Batman. Batman doesn't really beat him. Like in the Arkham Asylum games, he runs his car into him, for Christ's sake. And he doesn't kill him. He just manages to subdue him for that.
Well, he could be the brute force of the team, but you think about it, like, who do you want as the mind of the team? You want the most twisted person. You want Harley and or Joker.
Yeah, but Joker's not supposed to be part of the Suicide Squad. That was my other big thing is, you're doing the Suicide Squad, which is fine, but why are Batman, the Joker, and Harley Quinn is part of the Suicide Squad, but why are Batman
Ben
and
Affleck
Joker...
is not actually credited as Batman, interestingly enough. He is credited as Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
So it'll probably be him and Amanda Waller having a few conversations.
Yeah. Well, do you guys ever see the Assault on Arkham animated movie?
I have not.
Because that gives me a pretty good idea of what this movie might be.
I have not either, I don't think.
I think that's kind of what they're going for.
Because, I mean, in that movie... basically, like, the Suicide Squad is assembled, and they go to Arkham, and Joker is there, he's in prison, he gets out, but, and so is Batman. So, like, kind of from what I've seen of this movie, it seems like it might be taking a relatively similar approach, and Joker, like, in that movie, had a decent role, but he wasn't supposed to be one of the main characters. So I'm hoping that's kind of how they run it, because, like, it'd be nice to focus on the Suicide Squad, and because, like...
I think he'll be the stereotypical...
I agree with Archer, but, I mean, we know how Hollywood can get sometimes, too. I mean, look at one of my favorite movies, too, Batman, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. a lot of people at the time during the day, they hated it. Like, they should have called it the Joker, not Batman, because the Joker got just as much, if not more, screen time than Michael Keaton, right?
But
So,
I mean,
Well, it's up to the people who have less roles to steal the movie, because yeah, we talk about all these guys, we talk about Joker being in it, but he could just be the guy that sabotages the team and leaves.
yeah.
Like, he could be the guy that just never joins. Hugo Strange is in the movie. Nobody really talks about him. Mike Barinholtz, Mad TV.
Yeah.
You remember?
Well, in the Assault on Arkham animated movie, there was like this weird love triangle between Deadshot, Joker, and Harley, which would be interesting if they use that as kind of the focus of the movie, because you could still have Joker in there and you could still be using Leto, because obviously he's super talented and, like, you know, it probably wasn't cheap to get him on that movie.
No.
So you'll be using him a lot, but you also can focus more on Deadshot and Harley's relationship and have Will Smith as the leading man, which I assume he is in this movie.
I would assume so.
I think it would be cool, even for a minor role like Joker, you can set up for a sequel with Joker.
Yeah.
No matter how much the Suicide Squad bombs, if Joker does well, you have a sequel.
Yeah, and I mean, they could be just setting him up for involvement with the... I don't know if they'll be in Batman v Superman, but I mean, I imagine if they're going to be doing like a Justice League kind of thing.
Well, they are going to be doing a Justice League.
Like,
Who do you think
he
will take
show
up the reins then for a Justice League villain?
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're going to have to do a collage of villains. It's going to have to be.
You think
Lex
it's going to be
Luthor,
like a
Joker.
cabal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but he
you
will
have-
be in it. And
You
I
have
mean,
these pantheons of just these gods, and there's so many of them. One man's not going to be able to take them on. Really.
Black Manta.
Yeah, he may
Let's
be
do
in there
it.
actually. You know, and,
He's part of the Suicide Squad,
yeah,
people, come
and
on.
Henry Cavill's already gone on and made a statement saying that Batman versus Superman is not a Man of Steel sequel. It's supposed to be the primer, the setup for the Justice League, right? These are the events that happen in between. And
Well, what do you think of the trailer that dropped then?
I'm not a fan, and I love Superman, and
Really?
I do not like the trailer at all. I really don't. Again, goes back to my old school traditionalist roots, and this movie's so dark, and it's just Superman's dark, and Batman's dark, and Batman's supposed to be dark, and that's great. But I think a lot of people forget when, comics in the 70s and 80s, yeah, he was dark, but his costume wasn't. His costume was this bright gray, bright blue, and yellow, and Superman's costume has gone through changes, but his colors are still bright. And there was that cool picture that was on the internet without that dark filter that they put on Man of Steel, and that costume looked great. It was actually a lot better than how we saw it in the theaters. And I'm just, and I realize I'm being critical here, because at the end of the day, Batman and Superman, they're going to be friends. They're going to start the Justice League.
But does he
Everything's gonna be
bleed?
Cool.
Does he bleed?
And again, and that's the thing too. Like, I just think it's so dark, and it's a hero movie, and I get that we need to change with the times, but for me, Superman's one of those things where you can't really mess with him too much, because he is a god, and the great stories that are written about him are when he's more concerned about his being Clark Kent and the people he loves around him, and those are the really good stories. The best. I mean, there's a lot of bad Superman stories out there. There really is.
Well, you see, I, on the other hand, love the trailer because, the Batman role is awesome. It's Bruce Wayne, literally pre-Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Like, he is almost gray.
It's the Dark Knight. This movie literally, to me,
it's
looks like
like
the last quarter of the Dark
He
Knight.
is super
Right,
gritty,
right.
super
Yeah.
old, super dark. I love it. Jeremy Irons is Alfred, yes.
Yes.
That voice is
slapping
awesome.
Bruce Wayne around.
And, like, I'm even down with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He creates the Facebook, and then he kills Superman, and that's how it goes.
The billions he gets from Facebook, he just changes his name.
My only issue with Jesse Eisenberg, too, is it even has it in the trailer. His voice still sounds
like a kid.
dweeby almost. Yeah, like mine.
I don't know.
He came from the sky.
For me, I have no problems. Like, I didn't have problems with Jesse Eisenberg cast as Luthor. I had no problems with Batfleck at all. Like, from the beginning, and I said this from the beginning too, like, I think he'll do well in the role. Like, he's come a long way. I think we all think 2002's Daredevil, but it's 2015, and Ben Affleck's done some great movies.
And Daredevil's killing it now on Netflix.
In the last 5 years, Ben Affleck's really come into his own as an actor and a director. And, I always thought that he was going to be great for the role. Like, he's an older guy as well, like Bruce Wayne should be at this point, and he's great shape for the role, and he's, I think he's going to kill. And again, Cavill's gone on the record saying he thinks it's great too that Ben Affleck's Batman, because finally you have an American actor portraying an American playboy, and it's so true, and it rang. So when I heard him say that, I'm like, you're right. We have a British guy playing an all-American Boy Scout, and he's not American. Henry Cavill's English, and if you listen to him speak, he's English. And
but Chris Evans is very American, and he kills it.
Yes, he is. He's a great Cap for sure. But I mean, we don't see a lot of American actors in these roles. Like Hugh Jackman is the Wolverine. He's Australian, and if you listen to him actually speak in his normal voice, he has that Australian accent. Right?
There's Australians in Canada.
The Civil War Captain America movie just added Paul Rudd as Ant-Man into the movie.
I don't know about that, man.
Paul Rudd, really?
Well, everybody's like, where was this lead up to Civil War in Avengers 2?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, where is it? Where is it? Everybody forgets that there's another movie coming out before Civil War, and it's Ant-Man.
Yeah, and apparently it's going to have tie-ins, and Ant-Man's going to be in Civil War as well. And I don't know. I'm not a fan yet. I'm not saying I can't be won over. Like I said, I went to the theater with my son, and we went and saw Avengers. And we
can't do spoilers.
Yeah, and the trailer for Ant-Man came on, and my son was like, "Oh my god, Dad, we're gonna go see that, right?" And I was like, "Really? You want to see that?" Because I didn't say no to him, but in my mind, I'm thinking, "Really? Why?" Doesn't But my son loved it. He thought the trailer was cool.
I think it's amazing.
How when they're super small, they have super strength, though. But when you're regular size, you're regular. I don't know. To me, it might be good. And but I'm not stoked like I was for Avengers or for even Batman v Superman. Even though I hate the trailer, I'm still stoked for that. I mean,
it'd be interesting to see if Ant-Man lives past Phase 3 because spoiler alert, in the comics he gets blown to shit.
Well, yeah, there's a few Ant-Mans too, though, isn't there? There's not just
the guy that Paul Rudd's playing is not Hank Pym, who's the original.
Yeah,
Michael Douglas is Hank Pym.
So and he's the wife beater too, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
Good thing.
It happened. Disclaimer.
So
Floyd Mayweather is bad, or
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Ant-Man may be good. I may eat my words on that one too, but for me, I'm just my excitement level. It reminds me so much of Spider-Man 2's Sandman there, where he's kneeling beside his daughter.
Spider-Man
Daddy wants to be the hero, but...
It was Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man 3, sorry. And that's with Paul Rudd, same thing. It shows a clip of him by his daughter, and Michael Douglas is like, do you want to be that hero she sees you to be? I'm like, oh god, really? Do we have a... I don't know. To me, it just looks kind of hokey.
But the woman that plays the Wasp in it looks perfect.
Yeah.
She's Evangeline Lilly, is that who it is?
I think so, yeah.
Like, amazing. Yeah. Brilliant casting. Good job, Marvel.
The best part of that trailer was when...
We're there.
When Hank Pym goes to Paul Rudd's character and says, I think everyone deserves a second chance. He's like, yeah, I'm done with the stealing and sneaking into places, and I'm ready to where he's like, what do you want? What do you need me for? I need you to break into this place and steal something. And that was the best part of the trailer for me.
And that was the real lead up into Black Panther, obviously.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No.
I'm hyped for
You
that
want
movie.
it so bad.
I want Idris Elba as Black Panther. That would be amazing. Who needs Heimdall?
Although we already have the actor for Black Panther.
Yeah, he's been cast for a while.
And I think he looks decent enough. Like, I think he'll fill...
He does, and he's a really good actor, actually. Yeah. I think he was in 12 Years a Slave.
I don't know.
I think he was the main actor from that.
I haven't seen it.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay, well, anyhow, guys, I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'd love to hear from our listeners with any comments or topics, or any questions in general that you'd like to discuss with us. You can email us at m4mpcast@gmail.com. All right, thanks, guys.